Today, I will be making a soft sugar cookie topped with cream cheese frosting and mango caviar. As always, I will be explaining the chemistry behind it as we go along for today. For all of you chemistry students struggling, maybe this will help you understand it in a real life aspect because I know for sure that I always understand things better when I can apply it to myself. So as you can see, I start off mixing all my ingredients together. It's pretty standard. My flour, eggs, sugar, salt, butter, and my vanilla extract. Something you probably didn't know was that the eggs and the butter actually go through multiple phase changes throughout the cooking process of the cookies. Cooking of the cookies. What happens is the liquid in the eggs and the butter are solidified whenever the water molecules evaporate out. Something I like to do is put the cookies in the fridge for a little so they become less wet and less moist before putting them in the oven. If they are too moist, they will spread too far apart and there will just be a giant splatter on the pan. Now you're just gonna see me cooking the cookies and walking around my kitchen as I try and gather all the ingredients. So it might take a minute for me to get to the actual oven part of this where I can explain a little bit more to you guys about the chemistry behind cooking.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was wondering if it was the glue or... Oh, it's just like a hole? Oh. 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 You've been sick since when were you feeling sick? Monday? Tuesday? Oh. Mm.
Now we are getting closer to the endothermic part of the video. Now what happens is when the cookies are placed into an oven, they also go through an endothermic reaction. An endothermic reaction is when the heat transfers from a hot environment into a colder one. In this special case, the oven is the hot environment and the cookies are the colder environment. When the cookies are done cooking, you want to take them out of the oven and let them cool and set. If you leave the cookies in a stale, dry environment, the cookies become hard and brittle. If you leave the cookies in a warm, humid environment, they can become softer and more gooey. What happens is that the salt and sugar molecules in the cookie absorb the water molecules in the air. This is because they form a polar covalent bond. The water molecules are polar covalent and the sugar and salt molecules are polar. What happens is that the negative side of the water molecules bond to the salt and sugar molecules in the cookies. While I was baking the cookies, I started to make my strawberry milk for the topping of the cookies, and I will show it right here in 2 seconds. First, what you want to do is bring half a cup of water to a boil while chilling 2 cups of milk in the fridge. Then you add in 4 ounces of chopped strawberries along with half a cup of sugar to make something called a strawberry simple syrup. What happens is the strawberry and the sugar dissolve into the water through something called synthesis. The sugars and the flavor from the strawberries go through synthesis with the water because the glucose and the strawberry juice break down and bond to the water molecules. And when the water molecules evaporate, it leaves a syrupy texture, and this is called decomposition. Through combustion, the water molecules evaporate out through combustion and leave this syrup. After you have your syrup, you then add it to the cold milk and mix it in through a strainer. I did a double strain to have a really fine milk. It was really good by itself, but it just starts to get more interesting through a process called molecular gastronomy. You can probably find it all over TikTok and explain it in more detail. I will show it to you guys in just a few seconds. Now, what I'm going to show you guys in a second is going to be how we make our little pearls. Over here I have my little station set up. Now, what I am going to do is heat up my liquids because this affects the rate of dissociation of the calcium chloride and helps it dissolve faster because the heat affects the rate of dissociation. Now, what the heat does is it allows the molecules to vibrate and move faster, allowing for more collisions of the particles to mix together. You then add it into a bath of sodium alginate after. The sodium alginate does not want to bond with the calcium chloride and in fact will form a bubble or a pearl around the juice containing the calcium chloride to protect the juice inside from the sodium alginate in the water. This will create small spheres the size of caviar, and once it forms you want to swirl it around to make sure that they don't pop or break. And then after that you just want to put it into a plain water bath to clean them off. After that you can start to decorate your cookie. Now for here I just chose cream cheese, and the hard part is separating all of the little pearls because they tend to want to stick together. Now guys, I just wanted to let you know I worked really hard on this video, learning all the chemistry behind it and explaining it all to you guys, so please just leave some support for me, alright? See you guys in the next one.